Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to the Chamber for putting on this event. Thank you Congressman Knight for participating. These Chamber events really are so wonderful. An opportunity to hear from the candidates, to ask your questions, and to get more than just a 30-second soundbite. I'm Bryan Caforio. I'm born and raised in Southern California. My parents were both public school teachers. My mom, who's actually here today, was a special education and 3rd and 4th grade teacher. My dad was a high school English teacher. And they taught me at a very early age the value of hard work and the benefits that can come from a good public education. And so put those two things together, went to UCLA and Yale Law School, worked for a United States federal judge, and then came back and practiced law, handling a lot of different types of cases, but really just seeing a system that's broken. A system with misplaced priorities in Washington where people in our communities are being taken advantage of. Taken advantage of because the rules have been stacked against them by a bunch of Washington politicians who are just looking out for the special interest. And so my wife and I decided, instead of doing this, one case at a time, let's get in there and try to build a better system. Let's fight for an economy that's going to work for everyone and not just the wealthy few. And that means some real specific things. And the first thing it means to me is having absolute women's equality in the workplace. Because when women thrive, America succeeds. And that means we need to have equal pay for equal work. It means we can't allow discrimination in the workplace, and it means that we need to let women make their own healthcare decisions so that they can fully participate in our economy and decide when and how they want to work. It also means that we must strengthen and secure Social Security and Medicare, because these are sacred promises that we have made to our seniors who have worked for decades and paid into these systems, and we need to make sure that we are there with these programs so that they can retire with dignity. It also means that we get comprehensive and real immigration reform. Because right now, we have 12 million people who are living in the shadows and unable to fully participate in our economy. Now, when I was working for a federal judge on the 9th Circuit, almost half of the cases you see are immigration cases. And you see very quickly how broken our immigration system is, and also how America still is that beacon of hope for so many people across this world. And we need to make sure we fight for families, we keep families together, and we have a process where hardworking people who otherwise follow the law, who learn English and want to be a part of our economy, are able to fully participate in our economy. And it also means that we focus on small businesses. Because part of that misplaced priorities in Washington is the fact that they're only looking out for the biggest banks, the biggest corporations, and they're forgetting that 99% of our employer companies are small businesses. And that's where we need to be focusing to drive our economy. That's why I've been working with Steve Tannehill, the former head of the SBDC here in Santa Clarita, to put forward a small business plan. And it includes a lot, but just some of the bullet points are, easier access to funding. That means making SBA loans easier and more available. It means making crowdsourcing easier and more available. It means community banking increasing and incentivizing loans under $50,000 so that the small businesses that are here have an easier ability to expand or open. It also means that we fully staff and fund the SBDC. We have one right here in the Valley, and we need to make sure that it has the funding, the training necessary so that all of our entrepreneurs here in the Valley are able to go there, get trained, and help to cut through that red tape when they want to open up a new business or expand the business they already have. And it also means working on infrastructure, because a small business is going to have a much better opportunity to grow and flourish when the proper infrastructure is in place. One example that I'm sure almost everybody here is familiar with is the lack of readily available high-speed broadband internet here. And the city has been working on it for years. They just entered into a good deal to improve on this. We've got federal grants available, and we need to be doing everything we can to get this high-speed broadband here, because we don't want the next tech company to open up in Silicon Beach because we don't have fast enough internet here. And so those are all the types of things that we can work on as we start to build that economy that's going to work for everyone. I look forward to answering people's questions today, and thank you all for being here.